I'm crazy after all.
Let's talk about the hottest news of this week. Not that you met Marissa Tomei. We already talked about that. So we have to talk about the second hottest news of this week. And that is that Nightmare on Elm Street, a movie you have talked about probably for the last 2 years in terms of like movies I want to see on 4K. Not that I haven't, but I feel like it's always come up on videos on this channel when it comes to those types of topics, especially from your direction, which I'm totally with you. And now it's finally been announced.
I don't expect you to believe me anyway.
I would say about time, but I think we all were banking on the anniversary.
Yeah.
You know, the 40-year anniversary.
40-year anniversary.
Oddly enough, how are we going to celebrate it if the release date is what, December 31st?
Well, dude, you know, that's crazy. I actually want to talk about that. So I'm just going to say that it's out this year because I've seen conflicting things already about when it's coming out. So, but I will say that it's definitely coming out this year for the 40th anniversary. And so far, just an ultimate collector's edition, probably more. This totally reminds me of like when they were doing like The Exorcist and everything else, how it's like this slow roll of options that kind of are a little foggy on details.
And that's what scares me is because this is a title that's going to go possibly faster than The Exorcist.
I don't know.
And I don't want to miss out on any of them. So I think like you, I immediately placed a pre-order.
Yeah.
But I'm also sitting there thinking like, okay, it's Warner, just like Exorcist. Like, are they going to hit me with this grander option in the future that I would much rather have? But I got to lock in. You got to lock in.
And that's kind of the thing that, honestly, like, not that the announcement is, I'm super excited for that, but just the way the rollout of these announcements have been lately for some of these titles from Warner Brothers, it's like, it's kind of annoying, but also like maybe like lazy. I don't know what it is. And I don't know if
testing the waters. I feel like it's some strategy on their end to like determine how much of a demand is out there.
But wouldn't that be kind of scuzzy though to say like, hey, nobody really pre-ordered, so we're not going to put it out at all now? It's like a testing ground through a pre-order through an Amazon.
I don't think they're going that far, but I think that as far as like not doing it completely, but I think they're gauging what to do based off the reaction from the initial announcement.
We'll see, bitch. We'll just see.
For instance, I think we are going to get 7 on 4K, but what's going to determine how many units they produce, what's going to go into it, is going to be based off of that initial announcement reaction.
Yeah. And this kind of reminds me of, so Exorcist, this, and 7 are all Warner Brothers. These are all the same kind of rollout, but they keep getting worse, in my opinion. Like the first one was Exorcist, where
this hasn't played out yet.
Well, but it started, and that's the thing. It's like when Exorcist came out, they had 2 editions for UK only, and it was like the big Bible one and the other one. And then eventually a steelbook for the UK, and then eventually a regular for the US, and then eventually a steelbook from Best Buy. A very slow kind of thing. Then it was 7, which they put out with to be determined artwork for like a year out. Like there wasn't even really like a release date. And now this one, again, is listed on Amazon for a year out, but there's not even like to be determined art. It's just like a listing that they're like, hey, this is coming out.
Great.
I just wish the rollout was like, here's what you're pre-ordering. Like, this is it. Like, let's get it all ready. Because it almost feels like, is it the...
Don't sell me something until it's completed, and you can show me what you are selling. That's what I mean. I'm with you.
And I don't understand if maybe it's like Amazon or some of these retailers that, you know, jump the gun on it, or if they're like, no, just put it up now. Because I would rather...
I was going to say, to your point, if that was the case, you think they would have penalized Amazon, or I guess actually Amazon has more power probably at this point than Warner Brothers.
What's the reason for not waiting another month to announce this when you actually had your shit together? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, is there really, we just got to get this out right now?
No, I'm completely with you.
I don't get it.
Like I said, the only justification I can think of is that testing the waters approach.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially then maybe they're looking at it like what happened with Oppenheimer, what happened with even The Crow, I feel like, where they really want to maximize profits. They really want to see how much is worthy of producing. And I think they're trying to feel it out more with these bigger titles. I don't think they're doing it. Like, let's say if they put out Nightmare on Elm Street 2 for Scream Factory, as you said, we're not going to have this issue of like, oh, we can't see the artwork and delays and all this stuff. We're going to know it's Scream Factory will do it this way, you know. Whereas here, I feel like they're trying to almost test the mass market, you know what I mean, versus people like you and I, who they know they got us. I think with these titles, it's more of a, again, the streaming shit is up in the air. Everything's kind of up in the air. No business, no corporation, nobody knows where anything is going or where anything will be in 5 or 10 years. And it's like they're trying to test, do some of these old ways still make money?
No.
I mean, that makes
to casuals.
No,
to casuals.
I understand. I just think this is such a kind of like Exorcist. It's like a flagship title. It might as well be. It might as well be like one of these James Camerons where it's like people have been salivating for this since the format began, and you know whatever else. People want box sets, but it's like this is going to sell. Why treat it the way you're treating it? It just seems like we got to get pre-orders quick or to gauge something out, which I just wish they had more to show me. Also which correlates to the point I already made, is that it creates buzz. It gets you and I pre-ordering immediately because we're scared it's gonna, you know what I mean? I did.
It's like market manipulation.
It is. I know, because what's going to happen is, I mean, and we can all still cancel, but I'm sure that's going to be this collector's edition that's going to look nice. Then they'll do some steals and they'll do this and that, and then I can decide what I want to do. But I guess I'm good that I locked into a mystery release.
But I made him pay.
I have to lock in. It's Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K.
So you're ready.
I have to do it.
You're ready.
I have to do it. I have this shit all over my arm. I have to do it.
What does the future hold now that this one has been announced and will be released?
In terms of
the whole franchise, just the whole franchise, this one, like, what do you think? Do you think we're going to get now finally the slow, like, milking of it and then a box set? Do you think we're just really going to focus on this one for a while now, like with re-releases and different people putting it out?
They're just going to focus on this one for a while now. I mean, this is exactly what happened on Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. The original was available for the longest time. The UK, shout out to our viewers there right now, but Europe had a box set on Blu-ray of the whole series years before we did in America.
It's traveling time.
Scream Factory box set is our best hope, I think. What they did with Halloween, what they did with Friday the 13th. If they're going to do solo releases, get out of here. They're going to bunch them up. They're going to do combo packs.
The studio,
they did that on Blu-ray too.
They'd have to.
Part 2 and 3 was a combo Blu-ray at one point. I'll tell you this. In terms of what collectors and fans want, you either got to go this route with just utmost respect and care given to the original, which it deserves, or we get the Scream Factory, all of it in one.
Yeah.
Or there's not going to be any in between.
No, and Warner's not going to put money into a release of 2.
Want to set up? Fine, I'll set up. No problem.
3.
I would say give me a Scream Factory of 3, because I don't know that they put
even Arrow, but they're not going to just license out part 3.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're going to. I
want a box set.
They're going to milk the money off all of them if they're going to do that, and they're going to use 3 as the way to get most people on. But you're right. If in a perfect world and solo wise, 3 would be the one that makes the most sense to get released individually.
Yeah, I also liked 4 a lot.
I like them all. I like Freddy's Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I like them all. I don't have I mean, I can objectively say, hey, 4, 5, and Freddy's Dead are lesser, but I enjoy them immensely on a personal level.
Yeah.
They're all like 4 out of 5s at base. 4 out of 5s.
Lindsay, what's the chat temperature? Lindsay, the producer. What do we got going on there?
Come on, Lindsay, talk to me.
So some folks are saying that they place the pre-order, but they'll cancel if the artwork sucks.
I know. I'm worried too. I know.
My thought. It's like I have the pre-order locked, but if something comes up that smells fishy, cancel, and I'll, act accordingly.
Yep. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. There was some chatter I saw in some of the comments about people wanting the original audio and people wanting the uncut version. Does that ring a bell to you? Because I'm not familiar.
It doesn't. But you also have to remember I'm a VHS kid where none of this stuff was ever discussed when I was growing up watching A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I knew there was something about you I liked.
So just like Exorcist and just like 7 and whatever else, based on the Amazon listing at least, there's absolutely no new features on here, but there's features from the past, like a bunch of stuff that's from before. Again, I complained about this with Exorcist, and I complain about it every time, where there's these really renowned flagship titles of these studios that they put right back out, and they don't add anything new to celebrate it. Now, a lot of times you will tell me, who's going to come and talk about freaking, Poltergeist? Who's going to come back and talk on The Exorcist? Whatever. But all the people that are out there from Nightmare franchise, like all the people that you've met at some of these conventions, and Robert Englund himself, I mean, celebrate 40 years of this. You can't get someone to come back and talk. Like, what's the deal? Can we get some new features ever for any of these titles? Why not?
The fans, God bless them, they're clamoring for more.
I'm obviously, my fingers crossed that the collector's edition will be really nice. I think the Exorcist one is great. The Steelbook is really nice. I don't know what kind of art we'll get. Maybe the Exorcist Steel from the UK was original art. And if the UK Steel is original art again, that would be just great. Like that's all. I mean, I remember the Steel US got was not original. That's kind of the route I went with, why I went with the Exorcist one. So I'm kind of hopeful in that regard, but
that original art on a Steel would look bad.
We got a lot of people that are pre-ordering this, Lindsay. Did we get some?
I don't see that a ton of people have pre-ordered it. Looks like people are just, kind of chatting about like the, mystery around it.
Everyone's tentative. Everyone's worried because nothing. It's the thing. It's like Warner Brothers. You're putting it out there to be pre-ordered, but everyone's like nervous. Like no one is pre-ordering with confidence.
Exactly.
Is it a happy day for you? At least this is one of your.
Oh, it is. But like you said, we're all hesitant. It's tentative happiness.
I know. Why has my hobby become this?
I haven't seen it yet. It doesn't. It's an idea right now. It hasn't come to fruition.
An idea that has my money.
Exactly.